Let's get ready to rumble!
Welcome to Boxing Unwrapped. It's Boxing Unwrapped. Two guys who are also not going to Saudi Arabia. I'm Ryan.
I'm Andrew. Don't put words in my mouth. Maybe I am going to Saudi Arabia.
Oh, well, welcome guys to What the F is the Boxing News, the show that gives you everything you need to know about the world of boxing, all the fights from last week, all the fights you can watch this week, and everything else in between. So, Andy, do you want to tell the good people what we've got in store for them?
I think we have a very good chance, Ryan, of making this our most concise episode ever, unless things go badly tangential. Because there is very little to talk about in terms of what the F the result was from last week, what the F the fight is this weekend, what the F went wrong last week's a bit more substantial. We've got a bit of random news, and I think that's where the wheels might come off the concise train.
Definitely.
And we'll of course look to see what grinds our gears and finish up with a little bit of listener corner.
Well, let's dive in then to what the F is the results from last week.
We flagged one fight last week, so it's only fair, obviously, that we talk about the result from said fight. Virgil Ortiz Jr. versus Antonio Orozco, the contest from Texas in the super lightweight division. Ortiz, the golden boy, and he came out on top.
Surprise.
No, but right, to be fair, yeah, he was always expected to win. But this was actually really quite an entertaining fight. I didn't watch it live, obviously. I just watched it like a few minutes ago. But it was actually very interesting. Ortiz has got a very fan-friendly style. He likes to brawl, powerful puncher. Yeah, he does have one of the points I was going to check last week is he does have he's knocked out every opponent he's faced, and Orozco's like decent. He's not like a top tenner, but he's maybe like 10 to 20 sort of level fighter, and he had some skills and some timing. But Ortiz is very heavy-handed. But they had some exchanges in the fight, and Ortiz isn't impossible to hit, but he's got a really kind of nice power generation way about him. Like he looks like spiteful when he throws. And Orozco got up twice in the sixth before referee waved it off after the third knockdown. He looked badly hurt, but he was very game. But I don't know. I'm not quite sure where Ortiz is going to end up, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Watching.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's got definite like purpose when he throws, which I think is nice. You know.
Yes.
The thing that's kind of annoyed me a little bit is that. Eddie Hearn's obviously got to put on X number of shows for DAZN. And it seems that he's just totally forgotten to put shows on in the UK. Yeah, but I think they're a bit stretched for like putting on shows because I don't understand it. Like, even throw on a few more next gens on a Saturday for fuck's sake. Like, do something, because like these kind of like US fights, they're not floating my boat, to be honest.
It's hard to get excited about watching them kind of the next day, like non-live. There's a real psychological deficit to trying to watch sporting events after they've happened, even if you don't know the result. Funnily enough, I don't know what it is, because I mean, technically, when you watch something live, it's not live. It's like you're watching it like, I don't know, like 10 seconds or whatever after it's actually happening. But like, do you know what I mean? It's like, it's different than if you watch it hours after it's happened. You don't have the sense of immediacy that you do when you watch it live. Anyway, something of an aside. But Ortiz is only 21, and the hype train will continue rolling through them stations, and he'll attract a lot of attention because he's very easy to watch, because he's kind of an all action fighter and willing to stand and trade. So I think he'll be a fun ride.
There we go. Well, let's go to our newest segment, The 6 Degrees of Danny Williams.
Are we doing that already?
Well, yeah, because we don't have any other fights to talk about.
Is it right after the fights? Is that what we did? I thought it was further into the show. I needed more time to have mentally prepared myself.
Just you wait. Just you wait, right? Because you're gonna like this one. It is slightly easier than last week. Okay? It is.
Is it?
It is indeed. Right?
I feel like my powers are diminishing all the time. I feel like I've got dementia, early onset dementia.
No, I think you'll get this. I think you'll get it. Okay? So,
okay.
This week we would like to go from Mr. David Price to Danny Williams.
There's got to be loads.
Yeah, there's tons. There's tons of ways. You could do it in 3. You can do it in 3.
You can do it in 3.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, me.
I'll give you a clue. There is a particular gatekeeper fighter that is the linchpin in this.
I was thinking about it. There was a gatekeeper. So it's not that boy Terper or whatever his name is? That's not who you're thinking of. Oh, is it that taxi driver guy? It's not that.
No. Now
who's the rubbish
are
guy?
you thinking of what's it, Martin or John McDermott? John McDermott.
John McDermott. Who was there was a British level guy who beat Price.
Yeah. I will say that the gatekeeper fighter isn't a person that's beaten David Price.
He beat.
No. David Price just fought. He did lose to the first step, but it's not the gatekeeper.
Oh, fuck's sake. Is Povetkin?
Yeah.
Povetkin. It must be. You must be able to do it.
It is via Povetkin. Yeah.
And then Povetkin beat. Who is it? He beat someone. Oh, what's that boy's name? He beat someone not that long ago who's a very. There's probably a bunch of ways.
Povetkin, there's a ton of ways to go.
Right. Okay. Let me have a think. I'm having a mental block. I'm doing this game as well as I played football tonight. I tell you, it's gone very badly wrong. Tonight's not been a good night on the competitive front. I tell you. Okay, who's beaten? I can't think of all the people that have... It's not Char, is it?
Oh, yeah, it is Char.
Is it Char?
It is Char.
It's always Char. So he's fought Danny Williams?
He has fought Danny Williams.
Right, okay.
So David Price, Povetkin, Manuel Char, Danny Williams. You could have also gone Christian Hammer.
That's who it was. That's who I had the mental block about. Hammer was who I had the mental block about.
Yeah, you could have gone Christian Hammer. You could have also gone from David Price via John McDermott.
Mm-hmm. That's who I was thinking because he'd fought him, and then
straight to Danny Williams.
Straight to Danny Williams. Yeah, I thought there was. I couldn't remember who it was, but yeah, I thought there was a British level guy that he'd fought.
Look. Do you know what? I think you should start looking through Danny Williams' record.
No, that's cheating.
It's cheating.
I'm not a cheat.
Not cheat.
I'm a loser, not a cheat.
Right. Well, let's move on then to what the F are the fights this weekend.
Just so the listeners know, Ryan, that segment, you are going to edit out some of the silences, because otherwise that'd be a very long episode.
I do every week.
Waiting for me to get it right. Right, the fights this weekend. Emmanuel Naverette. Now, we know him. He's a world champ. We know him as the man that beat once, not twice, the plucky and game Isaac Dogbe, didn't he? Mm-hmm. Because it was kind of an upset, but then it was just like, actually, no, he's just kind of got his number when he beat him in the rematch. So, anyway, he's the champ. He is fighting Francisco de Vaca. Now, that's someone I hadn't heard of. He's got an unbeaten record, but he is rubbish. So this is like, I want a gimme defending my title. And he's going to get one.
Well,
so
yeah.
Fair enough.
Then live on the BBC.
BBC Scotland.
BBC Scotland, the special channel that no one asked for. Coming from
Everyone got.
the Radisson Blue Hotel in Glasgow. Kash Farouk versus Dwayne Winters.
You want to be good with a name like Dwayne Winters.
Yeah,
don't
especially.
You do,
especially.
you do. Although, unfortunately, I don't think Dwayne Winters is particularly... Well, I think he's not bad. I think he's not expected to cause much of a problem for the highly touted Kash Farouk.
No. Here's a little bit of pop trivia for you. Dwayne Winters' alias is the Gas Man.
Has he got flatulence issues?
I think he probably is just like gas safe registered.
Yeah, they get awful strict with health and safety with boxers nowadays, don't they? Make them gas safe registered.
But this guy is 11 wins, 1 loss. He's only got 1 KO, whereas Kash Farouk has 12 wins, 5 coming by the way of knockout. I mean, on paper, evenly matched, right? On paper.
Right?
On paper.
Is that true?
On paper.
And what do you mean on paper?
As in the number of fights they've had and the fact that Kash Farouk, really was fighting guys coming off of a series of losses until his 6th fight.
Right. Okay.
So, it's not like Kash Farouk has been defending his title necessarily against super heavy opposition. Whereas this guy, Dwayne, I think his record is even more padded. Tons of points wins against guys who aren't very good.
Right, okay.
So
Kash Farouk normally fights at Bantam, and our friend Dwayne fights at Super Bantam.
Well, and Dwayne
Is coming down for the
he's
fight.
coming down for the fight, and he's 31.
That's going to be a challenge for him, I would have thought.
Totally. If he can make weight, he's got a 2-inch height advantage on Kash. If he's not too drained. But it doesn't seem like he's got.
He's unlikely to shrink as a result of weight training. I think come what may, I think he'll still have a 2-inch height advantage.
But I think actually he doesn't look like he's got much power behind him anyway, because he can't knock anybody out. So I think there's probably a good chance that Kash Farouk is going to keep the belt in Glasgow.
Yeah, I agree. But anyway, it's good. It's free boxing.
Free boxing.
Ring the free
Bang,
boxing
bang, bang,
bell.
bang. Free boxing alert. Free boxing.
Saturday night, is it? Now, I'm assuming that non-Scottish viewers would still somehow be able to watch this either on that channel or through the website if they so wish.
If they so wish, they would be able to watch it via the iPlayer, or I guess maybe if you have Sky, you get those odd channels.
You can pick the channel. Yeah. Maybe other providers have the same facility potentially, depending on which provider it might be.
Yeah, However, the one thing I would say is that this is actually on. It's on that extra BBC Scotland channel that we have now, not just BBC One Scotland.
Yeah. Let's be clear. Let's be clear on that distinction.
It's on this channel that nobody watches in Scotland, okay? But we're paying for a lot of money for, so watch it. So because it's turning into basically free boxing channel. Is there a Scottish fight this weekend? All right, let's send a guy with a camera.
They should hook up with Box Nation, combine their offerings.
Yeah, totally. I know. It would be good. They could probably show this in the deepest, darkest Eastern Europe for a subscription on Box Nation or something. Who knows?
And that, ladies and gents, I think is about your whack for fights this weekend. I mean, it is pretty slim pickings, it has to be said.
But remember, we are in the summer break, and in 15 days' time, we've got a treat. Right? So next weekend, not so much. But the weekend after, shit's going to get real. Because there's a really good card coming. From the O2.
Now, are you
live in London.
The 31st.
The 31st, yeah. 15 days.
But the week before that, you've got Kovalev Yard.
Oh, you do as well, yeah. That's free. That's not pay-per-view either.
Normal beef, yeah. And that'll be. I don't know if I've seen an awful lot about the card. We need to check that out actually. But certainly that is a fight well worth watching.
Oh God,
that'll
yes.
be really, really, really good.
Oh God, yes. Oh God. Oh yes.
No, that will be good. I'm really looking forward to that, actually.
So am I. I really want to see what Yard brings. To be honest with you,
I think he's going to bring the thunder.
I think he is as well, man. The guy's a little tank, like.
It's a little tank. He's fucking used.
Right. Well, let's move on then to what the F went wrong last week.
Nothing. Right, this is funny.
Yeah.
You know, was it Brian Rose that was fighting Anthony Fowler? We talked long and hard about this fight and this gentleman.
Yes.
On our walk, on our trip to the hills.
Yes.
So you said at the end, Rose might retire because he talked about being an aging fighter. But I swear it sounds like you're saying he's an Asian fighter. Which of course he's not.
He's not.
And I don't think you said that, but just the way it pronounced, you said it sounded like Asian rather than aging.
Well, he's an aging fighter. I don't know his heritage. Is he a rose or is he a desert rose? Sorry. Oh dear, that was bad. And we got some more explanation as to Kownacki's pronunciation on the Facebook page, didn't we? Yeah, Kellen kind of helped us out with this. Kownacki.
I feel like it's just so confusing.
Well, he's also saying that our pronunciation of Kownacki is wrong. It's also Glavoski.
No, that's a bridge too far, Kellen. I mean, come on now.
Glavoski.
Do you know the one I really can't ever say properly? So I just kind of like mumbled it. Devryachenko. I just feel like I'm definitely not saying that right.
I don't know.
Anyway,
I know.
It's too confusing.
Too confused.
We talked about the fact that Usyk and Gassiev both had extended layoffs and hadn't fought since their final, which was last July.
Yeah.
And now we're like 13 months down the line, and they're not about to fight either of them anytime soon. I said it was more of an issue for Usyk rather than Gassiev because Gassiev at 25, but Usyk is 32, which we couldn't remember. So he is, maybe not old for a heavyweight, but it's he doesn't really want to be inactive for that long at 32. I don't think.
No, but I think he is from his videos on social media, he is definitely training. But
well, that's good.
Yeah, it's good.
Dancing? Is he dancing in the gym?
He's dancing so much. He's got so many slick moves.
He does have slick moves in the ring and and on the dance floor. We talked about Areola. You specifically speaking about the granite construction of his face. So I looked through his record. So he's been retired. Both Vitali and Deontay both retired him late-ish in fights.
Yeah.
As in he's taking too much punishment. Stop it. But the only man to have stopped him proper is our friend, Mr. Bodybuilder Bermain Stavern.
Bermain, I've got big areolas Stavern.
Yeah, he's the only one. He's fought him twice, and on one of the occasions he beat him. He knocked him out. So don't know what that's about. But anyway, I wonder what it means in terms of like Kownacki's inability to stop him either by volume or by power. I've got a feeling Kownacki's maybe not as hard hitting as we thought he was.
No, I don't think he is. I don't think he's got like the power transfer of a big puncher.
No, I think he's a bit army looking when he punches.
Yeah, and not in like a slick Tyson Fury way.
No.
In
a kind of like ineffectual kind of way.
Yes.
And I think for what the F went wrong, I think that's about your whack.
Well, let's move on to random news then, because there is plenty this week.
Is this where we get bogged down? Is this where we stop flying through the show?
This is where we stumble. This is definitely where we stumble.
To be honest, we've not really been going that quickly. We've not really done that well at getting through this fast.
No, not at all.
Do you have anything that you'd like to start off talking about?
Well, yeah, I think I would like to chat a little bit about BJS signing for Matchroom.
Go on.
Well, I'm so perplexed by all this, actually. I'm wondering whether or not this is about some sort of unification fight with Callum Smith. I don't understand as well because Eddie Hearn was so critical of BJS with the whole fucking, drugs thing. I don't really understand it. I saw that they were trailing that they were signing a new fighter. Everyone was saying it was BJS, and I was like, surely not. Mm-hmm. And then they made the announcement. I was like, what is this?
Mm-hmm.
And like, is this going to be like a signing? You know how they signed Amir Khan for a bit, and that was a flop as fuck because he wouldn't fight Kell Brook, and that was the reason Matchroom signed him. So is this going to be the same thing? Is he going to try and... I don't know. Are they going to try and get BJS to fight Canelo? Because Canelo would take that fight because he definitely beat BJS.
I don't know that he would definitely beat BJS, to be honest. A prime BJS is a very awkward opponent. I think he probably would beat him, but I think he would give him quite a lot. Unless it turns out that BJS has got he's very, very susceptible to punching, then, which he did look in his last fight when he got caught right enough. But he's just a nightmarish opponent. He's like a middleweight Tyson Fury. He's just awkward as fuck.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but it's been so long since we've seen him. And remember, was he not really good against Johan Dupas?
Yeah.
Not Johan Dupas. Who am I thinking of? I'm thinking of another French fighter. The guy who can't make weight.
David Lemieux.
David Lemieux, that's it. David Lemieux.
He's French-Canadian.
French-Canadian, yeah. 'Cause he was like incredible. Like that was peak BJS. He made David Lemieux look really foolish.
I think that was December 17.
So we're looking at 2 years ago.
But here's what Matchroom are doing. Matchroom are doing what are they called? Al Heyman's mob, PBC. So you know how they've got all of the welterweights. So now, like DAZN, I don't know if it's Matchroom / DAZN link up stuff. They've got all of the middleweights. They've got Andrade, Canelo, Golovkin, BJS. And probably I'm missing some other ones as well. So they've got they're trying to do this thing where they get all of the top fighters in the division and then they can organize it however is most profitable. But I'm sure that's what they're trying to do, which is why they've signed him. That'll be part of the reason to sign him.
I don't know. Maybe
I'm not making this shit up, man.
I know. I do think it's just a weird one, man. I think it's a really weird one.
Well,
for me,
I would be curious to see how he gets on, but I really hope it means that he's in some meaningful fights sooner rather than later, because pretty boring.
Yeah, it is pretty boring, especially because I would like to see whether or not he does have talent.
He definitely has talent, but I don't know what kind of shape he's in or whatever. But yeah, how he needs to fight like a top guy is what we need to see. We need to see him fight a really like high end fighter and then see who gets up.
Now, Tyson Fury, it's confirmed. It is confirmed.
It is confirmed.
Even though for a while he said it wasn't confirmed, and then he did say it is confirmed.
It is confirmed. That's a relief.
No, yeah. Oh God, I'm fucking counting down the days till he fights fucking Wallen. Oh.
I was just looking as we were speaking. I was just looking through Otto Wallen's record, but I can't find. He doesn't have one.
No, his record's more padded than a 13-year-old's brat.
I guess there's nothing deeply offensive about what you've just said. It's just a bit troubling. It's just a troubling reference.
It's true. Like he did fight for a vacant WBA Continental Heavyweight title and won it.
I don't know.
He got the EBU Heavyweight title. But here's the thing, like, you know, this is the kind of shit that they're going to be able to say, just like the fucking last one. Oh, he's a dangerous opponent. Oh, well, he's got this. He's ranked by this. You know what I mean? All this bullshit. And we all fucking know that it's a pile of shit. It's just so that Tyson Fury can go out there in front of a US audience, look incredible.
Prick about for 4
rounds, end the guy, and then go, oh, look, I'm the people's champ. Nobody wants to fight me. No big guys want to fight me. You know, all these guys running scared, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. I was just trying to find someone on his record that I'd actually heard of. No, I'm actually not being funny, but obviously, like, you know, I did struggle earlier on with the game, so, you know, I'm not saying I've got... The only person that I know on his record is Rafael Zumbano, who I remember Joshua fighting very early on in his career, and he, like, KO'd him really spectacularly within a few rounds. And he fought to a unanimous decision points win against him, and that's the only person, I think, on his record that I have heard of. I think maybe Adrian Granat. I think I've heard of him. But I'm not too sure. Anyway, he's got literally no credible opponents on his record, and this is it's just like his last fight again. Like you're saying, it's just like who's the most padded but utterly undangerous opponent we can find. Oh, here he is.
Totally. We'll ship him out from the Arctic Circle.
They asked Schwartz, like, here, do you know any? Is there any more of you guys? What do you mean? Like, you know, rubbish at boxing, but somehow have amassed an undefeated record. Oh yeah, try Otto next door in Sweden. You'll give you a go. Fucking.
You know how like Graham Carr, when he was at Newcastle, was an incredible scout for like these undiscovered French guys. Maybe they've got like another scout for these like, you know, super padded undiscovered heavyweights that like are almost credible.
Well, I mean, Fury's certainly a fairly good radar for them. Right. This is a fraud, man. This is a fraud. You can't do this. You can't do this guy.
No, because how many fights deal does he have with ESPN? Is it a 5-fight deal?
Something like 5, I think, yeah.
So there could potentially be another 3 of these, like, fucking piles of shit.
They're saying he's going to fight again in December, probably. Which seems odd, but, like, if he's fighting in December with a fight against Wilder on the horizon, like, say, 3 or 4 months after that, or 5 months after that, Christ, if you think this guy's bad, you want to see what he turns up for in December.
I know, because... Has the Lewis Ortiz fight been finalised with Deontay Wilder? So that doesn't have a date yet. So
no, they're saying it'll be November, but I mean I don't understand how it could take this long.
Because they're trying to wait for all the drugs to get out of Lewis Ortiz's system before he has to sign up to Vaca.
No, if he's WBC ranked, he'll be subject to consistent round the calendar VADA testing.
Well, On his box rec, it doesn't say that he's VADA registered.
He must be, though, because he's got a WBC rank.
Yeah, but you have to be in the top 10, right?
He'll be in the top 10.
Right, fucking hell, man. I don't know. And well.
Don't have it in for the boy. Just because he's filled more drugs tests than you've had hot dinners doesn't mean he's a drugs cheat. Well, it doesn't mean he's a drugs cheat, but it doesn't mean he's a drugs cheat now.
Yeah, well, we'll see. But anyway, I thought that they would maybe do something super duper fun, like announce the Wilder Fury rematch on the same day as the Joshua Ruiz fight in Saudi, just to totally fuck the pay-per-view numbers. Do you know what I mean?
That would be funny. Yeah.
That would be really, really, really funny. It would be really, really funny. They proper troll the fuck out of Eddie Hearn.
That would be good, but not to be. So, where should we talk about that then, or do you want to leave that to the end?
Leave that to the end. Let's leave that to the end.
Leave that to the end.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember who said that Canelo vacated his belt? Or because he got stripped of it basically because he refused to fight Devyachenko.
Yes.
So Devyachenko's going to fight Triple G instead. Apparently, it's very close to being announced. So,
and is that going to be for the vacant title?
I would very much assume so.
Interesting.
That's a good fight.
That is a good fight.
Devyachenko's good fun.
Yeah.
And Triple G's always good fun. We got a comment saying that Jaime Munguia is about to lose his he's going to lose his belt in the next fight.
Yes.
And why is he going to lose his belt, Ryan?
I don't know. Why is he going to lose his belt, Andy?
Because he's got to fight Patrick Alotti.
Ooh.
And Patrick Alotti hails from...
Is he from Accra?
He's from Accra. He's from Accra, Ghana.
Then it's going to happen, man. All right, let's. I will put a bet on it. I will put a bet on this boy. Right? Because, do you know this boy's record, by the way?
43-0. He's seasoned. He's very seasoned.
He's seasoned. He's very seasoned. 30 knockouts. Right? And he's not just fighting nobodies. He's fighting other boys from Accra. In front of possibly 6 or 7 people.
In the Seconds Out Boxing Gymnasium. We're not actually making this up, guys. This is actually his record.
It's totally true. It's totally true.
We need to do our episode in Accra. We so need to go to Accra. It would be so much fun.
It would be an on location.
Yeah, it's a special from Accra.
Let's make it happen.
Fucking
right,
awesome.
We'll start a GoFundMe page.
You're like, what are you talking about? Why do you want to go to Accra? We want to go to Accra to watch the boxing. People would love it.
It would totally.
We'll get on board. It will get more support than an Alex Salmond legal fund.
I bet you there's some sort of like British Council funding we could get for this, like promoting sport across borders. You should look into it.
Should.
You know, we should say we're going over to do a trade deal.
Trade deal with Accra. Trade deal with Ghana. Get into the front of the queue.
Yeah, totally. They're like, yeah, we like these boys. They like boxing. We're done. Free trade in boxers.
You can just swap them out. I want to swap out Fury. I want to swap out Fury for Comey. That's my first trade.
Totally. You know, we could go searching for the Ghanaian Tyson Fury.
So good. Right, I think we've gone off topic a bit. Anyway, apart from the fact that he's from Accra, you will get very nice odds if you want to bet on Patrick Alotti to beat Jaime Munguia, because Alotti is not tested, even though he's 40 fights in at a high level. One person who's very upset about this is Dennis Hogan. who is the boy who Jaime Munguia struggled with in his last fight and arrived at, some would say, very contentious final decision. So Munguia, a lot of people thought, lost his last fight. So he's... a lot of people thought he should fight Hogan again to kind of settle the score, but he's decided not to, and he's fighting Alotti. And he's not going to Accra to do it. They're fighting in Carson in the US.
It's a shame.
It's a shame. It is a shame. He should be fighting in Accra.
He should be in the, in front of 6 or 7 people in Accra.
Get a good crowd for that one.
Totally. We should become promoters for the Ghanaian Boxers Association.
Job, like.
Nice job.
That would be a job.
It would be.
I'm on board.
Let's do it.
I'm on board.
Let's do it.
Right, should we talk about the most biggest news? Right, well, hold on a second. Let's just get something clear before we talk about the whole Joshua Ruiz thing. Do you remember how often do we successfully stargaze on this program? By the way,
at least 2 or 3 times a month do we predict the future.
We do. And do you remember specifically relating to this topic what I predicted the future about?
Yes, you said that Parker versus Derek Chisora would fight on the AJ undercard.
Thank you very much. And this is obviously like several weeks ago before the announcement. Because you said, is it a pay-per-view? And I said, hum for like 5 minutes prevaricating. And then I said, do you know what? I think it's part of a pay-per-view, but I think it's probably a co-main event for a very, very big pay-per-view, probably the AJ fight. And the only bit I got wrong was to say it would be on the AJ card in Cardiff.
Yeah, exactly, because no one saw Saudi Arabia coming. They're working hard. They're working hard to bring in boxing matches in Saudi Arabia.
They are working hard and spending the dollars, are they?
Totally, because the problem is as well... like if anybody can cast their mind back to the Groves Smith fight in Saudi Arabia, it's a real ball ache for spectators to get because you can't just get a travel visa. You have to get sponsored and stuff, don't you?
Well, you not under normal circumstances, yes, you do. But they have announced for this fight that anyone that buys a ticket will have an automatic 30-day visa allocated to them.
Ooh.
Opening the doors.
They are opening the doors.
They are opening the doors. Now, if you were like Jewish, for example, if you were from Israel, or is it Iran that Saudi have a massive conflict with?
Yeah.
Is it Iran? Yeah. Yeah. So
and
if you're from Israel or Iran.
Yeah, and I think they're not big fans on the UAE at the moment as well, actually.
Was it the UAE or Qatar? Everyone fell out with Qatar?
Everyone fell out with Qatar, yeah. Qatar were naughty. They were really naughty. And the one thing as well, guys, if you do choose to travel for this fight, your beer alongside the fight will be non-alcoholic, and your bacon roll will be sans bacon. You get turkey bacon. They do lots of turkey bacon in the Middle East. I can attest to it. I have eaten it. It's not quite the same thing, but a lot of turkey bacon and some shishas in lieu of beers. No beers. Unless you want to get an Uber chopper to Bahrain after the fight.
You just like to shoehorn in an opportunity to say Bahrain.
I do, yeah. I do. You know, I hail from the area. I am. You know, they're my people. Yeah. They're my people.
Don't you ever forget it. Should we talk about the main? So, as far as I'm aware, this fight has now been officially announced.
Yes, it has been officially announced by the governing bodies and Matchroom. Mm-hmm. However, Andy Ruiz is still saying that he's not going to Saudi Arabia at the moment.
On political grounds?
No. Just because he doesn't want the fight there. He wants the fight in the US.
Right.
Even though Eddie Hearn has come out and said he doesn't really have a choice in this because he signed the contract. The contract stipulates we pick the venue. We've been kind enough to go with a neutral venue because he wanted a neutral venue, not the UK. And so we got this incredible offer to fight in Saudi Arabia, and we took them up on that offer so that we could all have swimming pools worth of cash. I think they've actually, from what I've read as well, they've actually increased the amount of money that Andy Ruiz was going to get. So he's looking at about $70 million.
Not Ruiz, isn't it?
Yeah.
$70 million. No.
It's going to be big money, man. Big money, man.
No, the stuff I was reading was like he's going to get like 7 or 8.
Really?
But the thing is that Joshua was supposed to get like 40 or something, and depending on what you read, but something ridiculous, which is obviously disproportionate to the fact that Ruiz is the champion. But if you've signed a pretty ironclad contract that includes a rematch where those are the splits, then like, what do you want?
Yeah, exactly. So he's not particularly happy about all this. And so he did a live video and he said he wasn't going to Saudi Arabia, it's bullshit, blah, blah, blah. But I don't understand what happens, by the way. So let's say, for whatever reason, he refuses the rematch in Riyadh. Okay, he says he doesn't want to do it, he won't go. Contractually, he'll obviously renege on the contract, right? So there must be something he'd have to pay in order to renege on it. Do the governing bodies then do anything as well? Because they've actually said that they will, the IBF in particular, have said that they won't call his mandatory with Kubrat Pulev as long as the AJ fight happens in December.
Right, okay.
So, he would have a choice of either losing his IBF belt or fighting Anthony Joshua in December.
I don't know what the contract will stipulate in terms of. I don't know. I don't know what it will stipulate in terms of like what happens if if he refuses to do it. Like, what are the penalties for the breach of contract? But I mean, obviously they've got to be very, very severe because if he's. Yeah, this is kind of getting into what's grinding my gears, so I don't know if I should just start it. I'll just start it.
You know what really grinds my gears?
But this is the thing that I don't understand. So there's so much about this that doesn't really make sense. But so is there a miscommunication about Ruiz where they thought that he'd agreed to it? So for a start, because the contract signed for the first fight, that's been signed, and that includes all the conditions for the rematch. So there's nothing to be new to be signed about this. So there's nothing to negotiate. Therefore, they're saying it doesn't matter whether or not he wants to do it or not. So his choices are do the fight there, or there's like you're going to pay like a massive penalty, which is probably like his full. You think it would be like his full first fight fee?
Yeah,
something ridiculous like that. It'll be something like completely debilitating to pay. It's not going to be like, $1 million or something. It's going to be like all of the monies. But I don't understand, unless that he's not going to do it, unless he's just like posturing and therefore just doing it to get more money, then like why did they announce it if they knew he was going to come out and say, well, I'm not doing that? Is it because, are they trying to put pressure on him to agree to this?
Yeah. So
it's just stuff like this that separates boxing from other sports and makes it so frustrating. It's not like in tennis, you go like, oh well, Wimbledon might be on this date in July, or it might not be, or one of the players is like, oh well, I might not do it unless I get more money, or I don't want to do it. I don't like England. It might be raining. You know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck, man? Stuff like this just detracts from the thing that's important, which is actually like the fight itself. It seems really an odd situation, but Ruiz has fairly grown a pair since he won, did he? He's like, all of a sudden, I'm Billy biggest balls, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's got swimming pools worth of cash, so he's just like, I'll do whatever I want. I'm the champ. Blah blah blah. Fuck you. But I think he needs to be very careful because, I imagine he's getting paid quite a lot of money to do this. he doesn't necessarily, like, say if he loses, everybody's going to drop him like a fucking hot potato. They're going to be like, see ya, Andy Ruiz. Fuck you. Goodbye. And if I were him, I'd be wanting to keep Mr. Eddie Hearn on side. Because what Eddie Hearn tends to do with people who Anthony Joshua's beat but are entertaining is, like, sign them up and then stick them on a whole bunch of cards. Mm-hmm. You know? So, no, I don't know who his advisors are, but they're not really, like, thinking about the long-term strategy. You know?
I don't see why you wouldn't take... I mean, unless it's like a power play to try and get even more money out of it. But, I mean, you're in a very weak position if there's a signed contract which states how much money you're getting for this. Yeah. Like, and the rumours is that he's getting it bumped, like you were saying, that he's getting it bumped up a bit. The stuff I've seen, the figures banded about is like $9 million. So, maybe you're not getting the lion's share, which is inherently unfair, but it's kind of like... You signed a contract. Like, that's what you signed in a contract. It's difficult to kind of, it's like, I was super confident I was going to win, right? But I signed this contract with the terms of the rematch. When I won, I find totally unacceptable. Well, it's like, well, that doesn't quite make sense. Yeah. If you're so sure you were going to win. And, like, you can't wait months down the line after having signed the contract and then be like, oh, it's not really fair and I don't want to do it. And, like... Why didn't he argue more to the point saying, I'm happy with the money, but I want to have an equal say in it has to be a mutually agreeable venue?
Yes.
Or it has to be the US again.
Yeah.
Do that. If you're so insistent, he had some negotiating power because there were so few options last minute for Joshua to fight that he could have been like, because they talked like they were considering it anyway. Say, do the fight. And I'm happy with that amount of money, but I insist on the contract saying the rematch would take place at a venue that I have to agree to the venue at, and I will agree to arrange the ones in the US, but not necessarily one out with. But it's my choice. I get it. I have to be able to agree to the venue. Do it that way.
Yeah, totally. Totally.
You can't be doing this, like signing a contract and then bitching about it because you think all of a sudden you're like a star. And I think you're saying is right about how I think the danger is that, like, whether Joshua's been found out or whether he had an off night, I think either way, I don't think Ruiz is all of a sudden like a world beater. He's not that good. He's not that bad either, but he's not like a dominant force in boxing.
No.
I don't think he's not going to be like a long-term undefeated like world champ. He's just, he's in the mix with some of the other guys in the top 10. He's not better than them. So, like, he's not outstanding by any stretch.
No.
Like, I think my boy, like, Hrgovic would beat him, for example. I would fancy him to beat him. I'd fancy Usyk to beat him.
Oh, I'd fancy Usyk to wipe the fucking floor with him, actually.
I think so. I think he would beat him in a heavyweight debut. So I think it's very difficult for him to be, like, going, all of a sudden I'm a big shot. Because I think either way, whether he beats Joshua and Joshua's been found out or he gets beaten, I think 2 or 3 fights in the line he's going to get, like, found out. So I think he needs to, like, show a little bit of humility and not go back on watertight, because that contract will be absolutely, like, bulletproof.
Yeah, totally.
And for him to just be like, no, I'm not doing it. I think it's kind of prideful for him.
It's pretty petulant.
Mm-hmm. But maybe it's how he's being advised, like you say. I don't know. Anyway. It's fucking winding me up this week.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, that just kind of bled together there. I just couldn't keep it in. Sorry.
That's all right.
Take it.
That's all right.
I feel bad. I'm assuming you don't have anything.
Oh, I do. Oh, I do.
Go on then, Ryan. Tell me what this week is grinding your gears.
You know what really grinds my gears?
I'm going to tell you what grinds my gears, Andy, this week, right? What the fuck is going on with the World Boxing Super Series?
Oh, I forgot to mention.
Oh, man. All right, so if anybody hasn't caught this, apparently Regis Prograis has withdrawn from the World Boxing Super Series, leaving our boy Josh Taylor without an opponent, because he's got some Regis Prograis says there's some contractual issues with Camosa AG, the company that owns World Boxing Super Series, and they have the they organize it all. So he says, Prograis and his lawyers say that there's been a long and repeated pattern of behavior by Camosa that includes late payments, scheduling delays, bad faith representations, missed deadlines, and broken promises.
Now, you know what's that expression about? You can accept one time as, maybe it's just a coincidence, but if things keep happening, then maybe we have to start taking notice. And this is not the first occasion of such complaint regarding World Boxing Super Series administration that's been made. No,
because if we think back, Taylor's last opponent, Ivan Baranchik, had the exact same issues, he said. Now, some of the stuff that Prograis's lawyers were saying is that the purse was supposed to be put into an escrow by a certain date, and that has not happened. So that's one of the things, which is the money side of things. I could imagine the frustrations of scheduling, because obviously you need to start a camp for a fight this big. And if you don't have a date to work towards, what you're supposed to do is just constantly stay in camp, ready to fight. It's not down. It's not down. So, I mean, what happens now? I mean, obviously we really wanted to see this fight between Rougarou and Josh Taylor. I think it was really competitive. I think it's a really good fight. I don't want Josh Taylor to then have to fight some fucking stand-in that he's going to bowl through as well. Late replacement.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Because they do have these floating fighters, don't they, that they kind of throw into the tournament, but...
I don't know if they recover one of the beaten ones from the semi instead, though. I don't know if that's ever an option. I think there was a lot of chat about, they were discussing different options. I remember for was it for Groves in the final, because he was a risk, wasn't he?
Yeah.
About whether he would be able to fight, and that there were various things bandied about in terms of potential solutions. But yeah, I agree, it's going to be unsatisfactory.
Yeah. So I just don't. I think this is fucking strange, right? And I would argue that this, from a brand perspective for World Boxing Super Series, it's a nail in the coffin. Because if they start getting a reputation for this, what good boxer is going to want to be associated with them?
Yeah, I think there's too much smoke here, isn't there? For there not to be a fire. It seems like there's at best kind of incompetent management, and at worst, something kind of a little bit shady going on.
Yeah.
It just seems that this isn't right. I don't understand how this stuff can be. It's not that complicated, surely. To have things to put money in accounts and to follow through on contractual obligations. It's not that rocket science to do. Something's not right here, and probably I think the stuff that's in the public domain is only a fraction of what certain people will know that's not come out publicly.
Yeah, agree. Because we had heard... through the grapevine that this was supposed to be announced for October in Manchester. And that was quite recently we heard that. So if that isn't going to be the case, what the fuck's going to happen? When is it going to be? November?
Who's it going to be?
Who is it going to be?
Don't know. I just think it loses all its credibility if Prograis doesn't take part.
Oh, I totally agree. So that's what's grinding my gears this week, because I want to see the Prograis and Taylor fight.
Yeah, that's a real letdown.
Yeah.
It's a big letdown. Anyway, it sounds like it's kind of broken beyond redemption. It doesn't sound like a kind of a bargaining position from Prograis. He's like, "Chow, I'm out." This is bullshit.
Totally. Agree.
So, yeah. It's a shame, real shame. It's because it could have been so good.
So, a little bit of listener corner, guys. I want to talk about some big news for the podcast. We are climbing up the rankings in Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
Yes, this week we were number 78 in the US wrestling charts in Apple Podcasts.
No.
We were number 44 in the Great Britain wrestling category. Number 33 in the Norwegian wrestling category. And number 16 in the Argentinian wrestling category.
Now, wrestling is obviously not what we talk about, but we wrestle with the big issues, certainly, but we
do.
But we're not. So this is because they're doing some form of recategorization.
Yeah, exactly. They're doing recategorization at the moment, and boxing, surprisingly, is not one of the sports categories, but wrestling is.
Weird.
But overall, we're 830 in the Apple Podcasts chart. So there we are.
For where? For the UK?
For the UK, yeah.
For the UK. Well, that's not like, it's not like the worst.
Well, considering there are millions and millions of podcasts out there, actually, that's not too bad, to be honest. But
I would be curious. Go on.
Who lives in Argentina? Please give us a tweet at Boxing Unwrapped, because we are pretty popular in the Argentinian area for sports. So, thank you, Argentina.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So remember to share with your friends, subscribe, all of those good things, and tell us what you want to hear on future episodes, because we really appreciate it.
We do.
Yeah. So with that in mind, guys, we've got an episode that was supposed to be truncated that isn't truncated. It's goodbye from me, Ryan.
And goodbye from me, Andrew.